Did you know that according to a groundbreaking Harvard Medical School study from 2023, women over 60 living alone face a staggering 47% higher risk of preventable health emergencies compared to those living with others? But here's the shocking part. Nearly all of these emergencies could have been avoided by simply knowing which mistakes to watch out for. When a research team at Johns Hopkins followed over 12,000 older women living independently for 5 years, they uncovered a pattern so clear it sent chills down my spine. These women were not reckless. They were strong, capable, and proud of their independence. Yet the same hidden behaviors kept appearing right before falls, medication crises, sudden hospitalizations, and even early loss of mobility. What makes this terrifying is how normal these habits feel. Skipping meals because cooking feels exhausting, ignoring dizziness because it seems like part of aging, keeping silent about memory slips so family will not worry. Each decision feels harmless in the moment, yet together they create a dangerous chain reaction inside the body. Blood sugar begins to swing wildly. Bones lose density faster. Muscles shrink. The brain becomes more vulnerable to confusion and fatigue under constant stress. When scientists mapped the routines of women admitted to hospitals for preventable emergencies, the same few behaviors surfaced again and again. That is why this video matters. You are not weak. You are uninformed. And that can change. In this video, we will reveal the 9 fatal mistakes older women living alone must avoid, ranked from least to most dangerous, and stick around because number 3 can quietly trigger rapid health decline even when everything else seems fine. The studies and safety data that shaped today's list are shared in the description. But before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you and where are you watching from today? Because we are turning the comments into a shared safety journal and replying to every single one. Now, without any further ado, let's step straight into number 9, because this mistake feels harmless, but slowly weakens your body in a way most women never realize until it is too late. Number 9, not creating a daily check-in system with someone you trust. Living alone doesn't mean living in isolation, yet a University of Michigan study found that 68% of older women living independently go more than 72 hours without anyone checking if they're okay, creating what emergency responders call a critical response gap that transforms minor incidents into major emergencies. The research is absolutely clear on this. Women who establish daily check-in systems reduce their risk of lying helpless after a fall or medical event by an incredible 85%. Yet most women feel like they're being a burden or losing their independence by asking someone to check on them regularly. Here's what actually happens when you don't have this system. You could slip in the shower on a Tuesday morning, break your hip, and lie there unable to reach your phone for days before anyone realizes something's wrong. And by then, what could have been a straightforward medical treatment becomes a life-threatening situation involving dehydration, blood clots, and organ failure. Setting up a check-in system is remarkably simple. It can be as basic as texting a friend or family member a specific emoji every morning, calling someone while you have your morning coffee, or even just opening and closing your blinds at the same time each day so a neighbor knows you're up and moving. The key is consistency and having multiple backup people who know to take action if they don't hear from you, because studies show that the first 24 hours after an emergency are absolutely critical for outcomes. Many women find that joining online communities specifically for daily check-ins provides both accountability and social connection without feeling like they're burdening family members. And there are even free apps designed specifically for this purpose that will alert emergency contacts if you don't check in by a certain time. This might seem like a small thing, but wait until you hear how a simple kitchen mistake is silently destroying your bones from the inside out. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 8, ignoring the hidden dangers in your kitchen that destroy bone density. The Bone Health Institute at UCLA made a discovery that shocked even veteran researchers. 71% of older women living alone are unknowingly consuming substances in their kitchen every single day that actively leach calcium from their bones, accelerating osteoporosis at a rate that makes fractures almost inevitable within 5 years. The biggest culprit hiding in plain sight is excessive sodium from processed foods, canned soups, and even seemingly healthy items like cottage cheese and whole grain breads. When you consume more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium daily, which most older women living alone do without realizing it, your kidneys excrete calcium along with the excess sodium, literally flushing your bone strength down the toilet. But sodium is just the beginning. Carbonated beverages, even the sugar-free ones, contain phosphoric acid that disrupts the delicate calcium-phosphorus balance in your body, forcing your bones to release calcium to restore equilibrium. And if you're drinking even one diet soda daily, You're increasing your fracture risk by 14%, according to the Framingham study. Coffee is another silent bone thief. More than 3 cups a day interferes with calcium absorption in your intestines and increases calcium loss through urine, with each cup beyond the third reducing bone density by approximately 0.4% annually. The solution isn't to eliminate everything you enjoy, but to make strategic substitutions. Drink your coffee with meals containing calcium-rich foods to offset the loss. Replace at least half your carbonated drinks with calcium-fortified plant milks or water with lemon, and start reading sodium content on everything while aiming to keep your daily intake under 1,500 milligrams by cooking more fresh foods and using herbs and spices instead of salt for flavor. Your bones might be weakening silently, but the next mistake could leave you gasping for breath in the middle of the night. Number 7, sleeping in the wrong position that restricts oxygen to your brain. Northwestern University's sleep medicine department discovered something terrifying in their 2023 study. Sleeping in certain positions can reduce oxygen flow to your brain by up to 23%, leading to silent mini-strokes, cognitive decline, and morning confusion that you might dismiss as just getting older when it's actually preventable brain damage happening 8 hours every single night. When you sleep on your back with your head elevated too high or too low, you're creating what researchers call positional hypoxia, where your breathing becomes shallow, your tongue partially blocks your airway, and your brain doesn't get the oxygen it desperately needs for crucial nighttime repair processes. What makes this especially dangerous for women living alone is that you don't have anyone to notice if you're snoring loudly, gasping for air, or experiencing sleep apnea episodes that can happen up to 30 times per hour. The optimal sleeping position for women over 60 is on your left side with your head elevated between 4 to 6 inches using a wedge pillow, which not only improves oxygen flow but also reduces acid reflux, improves lymphatic drainage from your brain, and decreases your risk of developing glaucoma. If you wake up with headaches, dry mouth, or feeling more tired than when you went to bed, these are red flags that your sleeping position is sabotaging your brain health, and making these adjustments could literally add years of cognitive clarity to your life. Poor sleep might fog your brain, but this next mistake could poison your entire body without you noticing. Number 6, letting invisible toxins accumulate in your living space. Environmental health researchers at Yale discovered that older women living alone are exposed to 3.5 times more indoor air toxins than those living with others because they're unknowingly creating perfect conditions for what scientists call toxic bioaccumulation, a slow poisoning process that happens so gradually your body adapts until sudden, severe symptoms appear seemingly out of nowhere. Those air fresheners you plug into every room are actually releasing phthalates and synthetic fragrances that interfere with estrogen production and increase your risk of breast cancer by 13%, while those scented candles release particulate matter that embeds in your lung tissue and triggers chronic inflammation throughout your body. Your decades-old carpets are harboring flame retardants, pesticide residues, and heavy metals that become airborne every time you walk across them, with EPA studies showing carpet dust in homes over 10 years old contains an average of 89 different toxic compounds. Even your non-stick cookware releases perfluorinated compounds when heated above 400 degrees, which happens every time you cook on medium-high heat, and these chemicals accumulate in your bloodstream where they've been linked to kidney disease and decreased immune function. The solution is to systematically reduce your toxic load. Open windows for at least 15 minutes twice daily, even in winter. Replace air fresheners with activated charcoal bags. Vacuum with a HEPA filter twice weekly. And gradually replace non-stick cookware with cast iron or stainless steel alternatives. While toxins silently accumulate, the next mistake could cause you to collapse without warning. Number 5, mismanaging your medications in ways that trigger dangerous interactions. The Journal of American Geriatrics published findings that 82% of older women living alone are taking their medications in combinations, or at times that either cancel out benefits, create dangerous interactions, or amplify side effects to potentially fatal levels. Yet they have no idea because no single doctor is overseeing their complete medication picture. Taking your thyroid medication with morning coffee reduces absorption by up to 40%, meaning you're essentially underdosing yourself every single day, leading to fatigue and depression you might attribute to aging when it's actually a completely fixable timing issue. Calcium supplements can completely block the absorption of antibiotics, thyroid hormones, and certain heart medications if taken within 2 hours of each other, while combining common pain relievers like ibuprofen with blood pressure medications can cause your kidneys to retain fluid, spiking your blood pressure and increasing stroke risk by 31%. What's even more dangerous is that grapefruit juice can increase the blood levels of over 85 different medications to toxic levels, including statins and blood pressure medications, with just one glass potentially tripling the medication concentration in your bloodstream. The fix requires creating a comprehensive medication schedule that includes prescriptions, supplements, and over the counter drugs, then having this list reviewed by a pharmacist who can spot dangerous interactions that doctors might miss. Set specific alarms for each medication, use a weekly pill organizer, and never assume that natural supplements are safe to combine with prescriptions. St. John's wort can make blood thinners and antidepressants completely ineffective, while ginkgo biloba can cause dangerous bleeding when combined with aspirin. Your medication timing might be off, but the next mistake could leave you unable to call for help when you need it most. Number 4, failing to recognize the early warning signs your body is screaming. Mount Sinai's emergency department analyzed 10,000 cases of older women living alone who arrived at the ER and discovered that 79% had been experiencing critical warning symptoms for days or weeks, but dismissed them as normal aging until they reached a crisis point where permanent damage had often already occurred. Sudden confusion or difficulty finding words isn't just having a senior moment. It could be a mini stroke that precedes a major stroke by hours or days, yet research shows women wait an average of 14 hours longer than men before seeking help for stroke symptoms. That persistent fatigue you blame on poor sleep could actually be heart failure developing, as women often experience heart disease differently than men, with exhaustion and shortness of breath being primary symptoms, rather than chest pain, leading to delayed diagnosis in 62% of cases. A cough lasting more than 3 weeks could signal heart failure, lung cancer, or pulmonary fibrosis, all of which have dramatically better outcomes when caught early. Changes in bathroom habits like urinating more frequently at night or any blood could signal diabetes or cancer, conditions highly treatable in early stages, but potentially fatal if ignored. The key is creating a symptom action plan where you write down any new symptoms daily, rating them on severity, and having clear thresholds for when to call your doctor versus going to emergency immediately. Red flag symptoms that always warrant immediate attention include sudden weakness on one side, difficulty speaking, the worst headache of your life, chest pressure lasting minutes, shortness of breath at rest, sudden vision changes, and confusion about time or place. Ignoring your body's warnings is dangerous, but this next mistake literally removes your ability to escape from danger. Number 3, creating physical barriers that block your escape routes. Fire safety investigators discovered that in 67% of preventable deaths involving older women living alone, victims couldn't escape not because of the original emergency, but because their own furniture arrangements and accumulated belongings had turned their homes into death traps. That beautiful antique dresser in the hallway becomes an immovable wall when you're trying to escape smoke-filled rooms in the dark, while those storage containers stacked in the spare bedroom create an avalanche risk that could pin you down. Research found that women over 60 need 50% more space to navigate safely during emergencies due to decreased flexibility and slower reaction times, yet most actually have 30% less clear pathway space than younger adults. Those area rubs you've placed everywhere to prevent slipping actually increase your fall risk by 38% during emergency evacuations when you're moving quickly in the dark. Creating safe escape routes means following the 3-foot rule, maintaining at least 36 inches of clear pathway from your bed to 2 different exits, keeping hallways completely clear, and ensuring every room has 2 viable escape routes that don't require moving or climbing over anything. Install battery-powered LED strips along baseboards that activate during power outages, keep a flashlight attached to your bed frame, and practice your escape route monthly in complete darkness so muscle memory takes over during real emergencies. Your home might trap you physically, but this next mistake attacks your mind when you're most vulnerable. Number 2, isolating yourself from meaningful social connections that keep your brain sharp. Harvard's 85-year longitudinal study delivered a shocking verdict. Social isolation is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day and increases your risk of premature death by 50%. But it's not just about being alone, it's about the quality and frequency of meaningful connections that actually stimulate specific brain regions responsible for executive function and memory formation. When you go days without real conversation beyond paper or plastic, your brain literally begins to atrophy, with MRI scans showing socially isolated older women lose gray matter volume at twice the rate of those with regular social engagement. The University of Chicago found chronic loneliness increases cortisol production by 34%, suppresses immune function, accelerates cognitive decline by 20% annually, and creates inflammation markers identical to chronic disease states. Breaking this cycle requires scheduled spontaneity. Joining a weekly book club, volunteering regularly, or having standing coffee dates forces social interaction, even when you don't feel like it. And research shows just 3 hours of meaningful social contact weekly reduces dementia risk by 41%. The key word is meaningful. Deep conversations where you share feelings, debate ideas, or work toward common goals activate neural pathways that keep your brain young, with studies showing women who maintain diverse social networks have cognitive abilities equivalent to someone 10 years younger. Social isolation slowly erodes your mind, but this number one mistake can end everything in an instant. Number one, refusing to install and maintain proper fall prevention systems throughout your home. The statistic from Stanford's Trauma Center is so shocking that most people refuse to believe it. If you're a woman over 65 living alone, you have a 312% higher chance of dying from a fall in your own home within 6 months than from cancer, heart disease, and stroke combined. Yet 91% of older women have taken zero meaningful steps to prevent falls because they think it won't happen to them. When an older woman living alone falls and breaks a hip, she has a 21% chance of dying within 30 days, a 50% chance of never walking independently again, and an 80% chance of being in a nursing home within 1 year. The CDC documented that falls are the leading cause of traumatic brain injury and death in older adults, with women being 67% more likely to suffer fatal falls than men because they're more likely to live alone and consistently refuse to implement fall prevention measures until after they've already fallen. What makes this particularly tragic is that 95% of hip fractures are caused by falling sideways, and simple modifications could prevent most of these. Yet women resist installing grab bars because they think it makes their home look old when stylish options that look like decorative fixtures are readily available. Your bathroom is statistically the most dangerous room, with 80% of falls happening there, yet most women still step over tub sides and rely on towel racks for support that aren't designed to hold body weight. The comprehensive fall prevention system includes grab bars beside the toilet and the shower installed into studs, non-slip strips in the tub, night lights in every room with motion sensors, removing all throw rugs, raising toilet seat height with a locking riser, keeping phones in every room, and wearing non-slip shoes even indoors. The investment of $500, $2,000 for comprehensive modifications is nothing compared to the average $35,000 for hip fracture treatment and the immeasurable cost of losing your independence forever. Living independently as an older woman is absolutely possible and wonderfully fulfilling, but only if you take these 9 critical mistakes seriously and act on them starting today with even just one small change like ordering a grab bar or scheduling a daily check-in. Because every moment you delay is another moment you're playing Russian roulette with your independence and your life. If this video has opened your eyes to dangers you didn't know existed in your own home, please subscribe to this channel for more life-saving information specifically for older adults. Please share this video with any older woman living alone who needs to hear this information before it's too late. Thank you for watching.